Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into something really powerful, how to actually monetize your mind. Yeah, we're talking about a whole new framework for turning what's already in your head into real, tangible wealth. And it all starts by completely changing how you think about value. So let's just jump right in with a tough one. A question I bet a lot of you have asked yourselves: why is it that you can work so hard, but still feel like you're not getting ahead? It's a total paradox, right? You're putting in all the hours, grinding away, but the bank account just doesn't reflect that effort. Well, the material we're digging into today says the answer isn't to just work harder. It's about thinking differently. So here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to walk through a 5-step playbook to make this mental shift happen. First, we'll tear down and rebuild what wealth actually means. Then we'll talk about upgrading your brain's operating system. After that, we'll get into fighting those gut instincts that hold us back. Then, the really cool part: turning your experience into something you can actually sell. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a concrete action plan so you can get started right away. All right, first up, let's get into the truth of wealth. Because before you can even think about building it, you gotta know what you're aiming for. And trust me, it's probably not what you think it is. Okay, this right here, this is the absolute core of the whole thing. Real wealth, it's not about your paycheck. It's not a reward for just showing up and clocking in hours. It's the physical result of your cognitive depth. Kind of sounds academic, but all it really means is your ability to take what you know, your deep understanding of something, and turn it into value that people will pay for. So think about it like this. You've got a writer who gets paid, say, $100 an article. That's trading time for money. But then you have another writer who creates a course on how to write great articles and sells it thousands of times. See the shift? It's not about the hours you work. It's about the insights you package. So why do so many of us get stuck on that hamster wheel? Well, it boils down to these mental traps. Think of them like bugs in our mental software. The biggest one, the one that gets almost everybody, is the labor mindset. That's the belief that your time is the only thing you have to sell. But it doesn't stop there, right? There's overconfidence, where a little bit of luck makes you think you're a genius and you start ignoring real risks. There's good old fear and greed, making you buy high and sell low. And of course, the classic sunk cost fallacy. You know, that feeling that you have to keep pouring time and money into something that's clearly not working just because you've already invested so much. These are the default settings we've got to overwrite. Okay, so if that old way of thinking is the problem, what's the fix? Well, it's not a small tweak. We're talking about a full-on upgrade for your brain's operating system. And I mean it. This isn't some minor software patch. The analogy the sources use is just perfect. It's like upgrading your mental engine from a bicycle to a Ferrari. We're talking about a complete night and day transformation in how you see everything. And here's exactly what that looks like in practice. The consumer view, the bicycle, is all about asking, what's in it for me? How much is it? What do I get? It's all about taking. But the producer view, the Ferrari, flips that completely. You look at the exact same thing, a product, a company, whatever, and you ask totally different questions. How was this made? What problem is this actually solving? And, how could I do it better? You go from just being a passive user to an active detective, deconstructing everything around you. So you might be thinking, okay, a Ferrari engine sounds great, but how do I actually build one? It starts with a really simple mental game you can play every single day. Seriously, anytime you use a product, watch a video, visit a website, just stop and ask yourself, if I had to create this from scratch, how would I do it? Playing this little game starts to rewire your brain. You'll stop seeing just things and start seeing the systems, the processes, and the opportunities behind them. Now look, let's be real. If switching from a bicycle to a Ferrari mindset was easy, everybody would be a millionaire, right? The reason this is so tough is that you're not just fighting a few bad habits. You're actually fighting against millions of years of human evolution. Think about it. Our brains are hardwired for one thing: survival in the jungle. That ancient programming is all about getting instant gratification, eat the berry now, and reacting to immediate fear, run from the tiger. Now that's great for surviving in the wild, but it's absolutely terrible for modern business. That gut punch of fear you feel when your stocks dip, or that greedy impulse to jump on a get-rich-quick scheme, that's just your inner caveman taking the wheel, and that caveman is a really bad investor. So the trick to fighting back is knowing that you basically have two different brains. You got System 1, which is your fast, automatic, gut reaction brain. That's the jungle brain we just talked about. Then you've got System 2. That's your slow, logical, let me think this through brain. The goal isn't to shut down System 1. You can't. The real secret to making better decisions is knowing when to hit pause and deliberately fire up System 2. And hey, this isn't just some abstract theory. There are actual practical tools you can use to do this. Number one, make a decision checklist. Anytime you have a big decision, write down your plan before you act. Just the act of writing forces you to be logical. Number two, play devil's advocate with yourself. Actively look for reasons why you might be wrong. Challenge your own ideas. And number three, my favorite, use a cool down period. That impulsive decision that feels so urgent right now, wait 24 hours. I guarantee it'll look a lot different. Think of these as circuit breakers for your emotional brain. Okay, so let's say you've done the work. You've upgraded your mindset, you're learning to tame that jungle brain. Now for the million-dollar question. How do you turn all that good thinking into an actual asset? Something that makes you money while you sleep. How do you do that? The answer is something called a knowledge slice. And this is brilliant. Forget about trying to build some massive, complex company right out of the gate. A knowledge slice is just a tiny, valuable piece of your expertise. You package it up as a simple solution to one very specific problem. It's basically your own minimum viable product, built from what you already know. And the process for creating one is so simple, it's beautiful. Step one, figure out something you're good at. We're not talking world champion level, just something you can do better than, say, 90% of people. Step two, take that skill, that thing you just do, and break it down into a repeatable process, a recipe. Step three, package that recipe. It could be a short PDF, a quick video, a simple template. And step four, and listen, this is absolutely the most important part. You have to release it. Ditch the perfectionism. Just get it out into the world and see what people think. Real feedback is everything. And you can see this everywhere. Instead of a designer getting paid once for a project, they create a pack of presentation templates and sell it over and over and over again. An HR consultant stops selling their hours and instead sells a performance management toolkit that hundreds of companies can buy. You see what's happening? In every case, you're taking a service you used to perform one time and turning it into an asset that can be sold an infinite number of times. All right, that was a lot, I know. We've talked mindset, strategy, and the actual product. So let's tie this all together. Let's get down to brass tacks with a clear action plan that you can literally start using the second this is over. Here it is, your to-do list for installing this new mental OS. First, I want you to do an audit of your poverty software. Look at your expenses, your sunk costs. Where are those old traps getting you? Next, start playing that producer game every single day with one business you encounter. But here's the big one, the real challenge. Create and publish your very first knowledge slice. This week. Seriously. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be out there. It's all about building that initial momentum. Because, at the end of the day, that's what this all boils down to. You can understand every theory, every framework, every idea we've talked about, but it means nothing without action. The sources are crystal clear on this. Wealth comes from combining the right knowledge with consistent, deliberate action. So, as we wrap this up, the only real question left to ask is, what's your first step going to be?